Hi, this is Amanda with Dusty Trail RV, and today I'm going to be talking about drinking water hoses. I'm going to give a very brief overview of the system that uses them, when you would need it, why you would need it, and then I'll give 3 examples of different hoses you could use. You have 2 main ways to use water, and one is through the fresh water tank, which is hooked up and you fill it with freshwater, potable drinking water. And this is used when you are off the grid, you are away from any hookups, and you want access to fresh water. The second way is through your city water connection, and this allows you to hook your RV directly to a water source. And when you do this, you don't need a water pump. You get your water pressure in your RV directly from the source. And this is a very easy connection, and it is something that is wonderful about finding a place to long-term park, whether it's an RV park or a national park or even in someone's driveway. So you might ask yourself, can I just hook up my RV to a water supply using a regular garden hose? And unfortunately the answer is no. This is not recommended anymore, and this is because they've done scientific studies that measure what is in a garden hose, and they've found that carcinogens, chemicals, and very high levels of lead are found in garden hoses, especially after the hose degrades over time and is exposed to sunlight and off gases. And all of these chemicals and carcinogens truly become dangerous when they find ways inside of our bodies. And that is what we are doing when we are drinking the water. So doctors recommend avoiding doing it. I can't go back in time to when I was a child drinking water out of the garden hose on the farm. There's nothing I can do about that, but moving forward, I can try to limit my exposure down the road. So when it comes to my water system, I'll break it down very briefly. I use a gated Y, also known as a garden hose splitter. I use a pressure reducer to limit the water pressure coming into my trailer to the safe range of 40 to 50 psi. Then I use a flexible water hose that leads to my inline water filter. And following that is my hookup to my RV drinking water hose. And the RV drinking water hose is what I will be mainly focusing on today. There are a ton of products out there for RV drinking water hoses, and if you just do a search online, you will probably be inundated with countless products. So where do you begin? Where do you start? How do you know what a good product is and what you really need? So I'm going to take 3 really popular hoses and compare them and break them down and let you know what I think of them. Alright, first up is the RV Mate drinking water hose. I found this on Amazon. This was one of the top responses when I searched for drinking water hoses, so I thought, let's look at it. So this is a lead-free, BPA-free, anti-kink hose, and they market this with a really high flexibility range for temperature, which means they're saying that between negative 40 degrees and 176 degrees, this will function and remain flexible. I don't know about you, but I have zero intention of ever living in an RV where it is negative 40 degrees. But if that is your thing, this might be a hose for you. This hose also comes with what I call a little RV drinking water hose care package. What you have in here is an elbow, some Teflon tape, and a couple gaskets. The elbow allows you to, instead of having your hose hooked to your water supply or your RV like this, where you can have a bend in the hose, which creates a joint where it can degrade over time, you put that elbow in, so when you hook your hose in, it hooks this way. So pretty cool that they included this. You can buy one of these elbows from Camco, probably about maybe $5. So with the Teflon tape and gaskets, maybe this is a little $6 care package. So it's really cool that they included that. One of the things I was not a huge fan of on this hose actually came in the packaging, and I'll show you the bottom of the box here. You can see made in China, but that's not the problem. There is a warning on there, and the warning reads cancer and reproductive harm per the P65 California warnings. And as I talked about earlier in the video, the main concern when it comes to these chemicals and carcinogens are when they find a way inside your body. And that is what we do with a drinking water hose. It goes inside our body. So I'm not sure why that warning is on here when it's marketed as a fresh drinking water hose. So worth considering if that matters. I also prefer to support the United States economy, so I like to find American-made products. But other than that, this is a pretty good hose. Alright, next hose. We've got the Camco Taste Pure 25-foot drinking water hose. It's marketed as lead-free BPA-4 drinking water. That's what we want. This is a reinforced hose. It's very big. It's 20% thicker than the other hoses, and it comes with these strain-free ends right here that will reduce the wear when the hose is like that. So really cool when companies invest in something that makes their product last longer. This has really good, nice swiveling connection here, nickel-plated machined fittings, and also it's made in the United States, so I love supporting local companies. This packaging does not have any warnings on it for carcinogens or birth defects. So on to the next. The final hose I'll be going over is called the Ko-Ri 25-foot drinking water hose. This is another high-rated product on Amazon. This is made in China. This particular hose is marketed as lead-free, BPA-free, and anti-kink. This also has a rated bursting pressure of 450 psi. So, what that means is you could put 450 pounds of pressure in here and it won't burst. However, I would recommend never attempting that, especially with your RV, because things in your RV will fail far before this will. The PSI rated for, the PSI preferred for RVs is 40 to 50 PSI. So cool that it's durable, don't try to test it. Another thing with this is that it's got a working temperature of -4 to 176. So less cold than the other one, but still most people don't go in -4 degrees with their RV, and if they do, this hose will be just fine. This has an ergonomic handle, which is really cool. So the whole handle spins with the swivel connector. That is really great for anybody who has nerve damage in their wrists, weakness in their wrists, or just carpal tunnel. This is a lifesaver, and it's also got wrench, like it's a wrench shape, so you can actually use a wrench to tighten it if you needed to. This is a really great hose, and it also comes with this bag. So this is a mesh hose bag, and I love these. I put my hoses in them, whether it's my drinking water hose, a spare hose. I put my electrical hookup hose in these things. They're great because they're shaped for a hose. They're mesh, so when you put your hose in here, when you coil it in there, and there's moisture in there, which there usually will be, when you cinch it up, the mesh will allow that to evaporate and to breathe, and you reduce the risk of getting mold and mildew in here and in your hose. Cinches up really nicely, keeps it tight, and it also has a carrying handle, which is really nice. If you've got a couple things you're carrying, you can just carry your hose like this. I also like that it is labeled fresh water hose. You do not want to put sewer hoses in here. Accidentally put your electrical hose, anything that's not really clean. This tells you this is only for your clean, fresh hose. So, very cool. Alright, so, in first place, my choice is going to be the Camco drinking water hose, the Taste Pure. This hose is sturdy. Also, I love that it is made in America. When it comes to companies that invest money in technology like this strain reducer that will reduce wear and tear on the product, that is very important to me. It speaks volumes. In a system where it's more money, more purchasing, more buying, many companies don't care if their product fails early because you're just going to be coming back to buy another one. This is an investment in the product itself that says, hey, this hose is so sturdy that you're probably going to have it for multiple seasons and you might not even need another RV hookup hose, and we care more about that than profit. So I trust this brand. I love this brand. This is my number one choice. All right, in second place, we have the Kohree drinking water hose. This is a great hose. I really like it. This ergonomic handle is a game changer if this is something that you could benefit from. It's a well-made hose, and they even include the carrying bag, which is a convenience item that really means a lot to some people. The ability to keep your things separate and labeled is great. You can't go wrong with either of these choices, so this is my number 2. Alright, that wraps up this comparison, and I hope this information was helpful to you. I hope you have a better understanding of your RV water system, as well as some ideas of some products that can be beneficial for your unique situation. I've included links in the notes, and also feel free to visit my page. I have a blog that has more information. And if you have any questions or there's a topic you would like me to cover, send me an email in the contact forms located on my page. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more of my content.